So I am in Genesis still, chapter 46, and this is when Jacob packs up to go to Egypt to go see Joseph and, move him and his family to Egypt. And I was reading 46 and heard the Lord say that he cares about our fears. He isn't concerned, obviously, and he knows that our fears have no power or not valid, like they're not anything that we should be worried about. But he cares that we have the fears. He understands as humans how we are sometimes controlled or even, stuck because of our fears. And I say he cares about our fears because in this specific instance in chapter 46, Jacob is fearful, or it sounds like he has reservation about going back to Egypt because after he agrees to his sons that he will go, God comes and visits him to confirm that, yes, this is what I want you to do. He says in chapter 2, it says, "And God spoke to Israel in his visions of the night and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, Here I am. Then he said, I am God, the God of your father. Do not be afraid to go down to Egypt, for there I will make you into a great nation. I myself will go down with you to Egypt, and I will also bring you up again." So obviously, like, God doesn't do anything just because. So if he visits Jacob to confirm that this is what he wants him to do, Jacob must have some kind of fear or reservation about going to Egypt. So then I did my study just to, give me a little bit more information on it. And it brought up the two instances that Jacob probably knows about. One, when Abraham went to Egypt and he lied to the Pharaoh or whoever about his wife. And then that's when Abraham got all those gifts because God visited the Pharaoh or whatever his name was. I can't remember. And it's like, don't touch Sarah, or I'll strike you down, blah, blah. And so then the Pharaoh's mad and gives Abraham all these gifts, hoping that he doesn't upset God because Abraham lied. And then with Isaac, God told him never to leave the promised land. Isaac always stayed in the promised land or stayed, in the areas around. He never went to Egypt. God was like, do not go to Egypt. And that's Jacob's dad. So Jacob like, nah, I was raised like, we don't go to Egypt. That is not what we do. I trust the God of my father, who is my God, and I'm not doing that. But then, his sons come to him and it's a famine and all these things. And you understand because if you know the Bible, you know that God always wants us to depend on him. And what Egypt always was like a rich nation, which represented the world. Like, yeah, the world has riches and all these things, but if you're a child of God, you depend on God and he will supply your needs in whatever way. So Jacob's fear makes sense. Like, no, God, I don't want it to make it look like I'm dependent on Egypt, that I've left you and I don't trust you. I want to I trust you only. I trust, that you'll take care of me. So that's why God had to come to him like, no, baby, it's okay. I have a plan and a purpose. This is different from what you've heard. This is different from what you've been taught. This is different from what I've showed you, but it's okay. I'm with you. I will be there with you. I'll take you out of there and all the things. And like, God gets it. He understands that when something is super different than what we're used to, it's hard for us to adjust, to shift, to make the move. But that doesn't stop him from using us. That doesn't stop him from confirming for us. It's not like he's like, shut up, I said it and I do it. He decides to come to Jacob and comfort him and confirm and help him in this struggle. And whenever I see, God's character, especially in the Old Testament, God's character of love, of compassion, of patience, of mercy and grace, I always want to point it out because I was one of those people who who was taught, like, that the God of the Old Testament is this way, but Jesus is this way. And it's like, no, it's not like that. They are one. They have different positions, but they are one. God has compassion. God has mercy. He sent his son for that very reason. So I always want to shed a light on these moments where God is patient with Jacob, is understanding with his humanly fears, and comforts him in the way that he needs in order to carry out this mission. Because at the end of the day, God loves us and cares for us, and he has a plan and purpose for us, and he wants us to carry it out the right way. Jacob wasn't wrong for feeling the way he felt. He didn't sin by feeling the way he felt. And so God met him where he was at and helped him get past whatever fears he had. And that's what he does for us time and time again, if we just come to him first.